Civil organizations and political parties have gathered at the Mary Fitzgerald Square in Johannesburg in support of Palestine and calls to end the occupation of Palestine. There have been activations across the country since Israel retaliated to Hamas's October 7th attack. Newzroom Afrika's reporter Ahmed Kajee is following the march for us. Ahmed, you are following this march and listening to the big, powerful messages. What can you tell us?
Yes, thanks very much, Info. The march has just gotten underway, as you will see in your visuals on the screen. The march will be taking place from here at Mary Fitzgerald Square towards the Nelson Mandela Bridge. There will be a few speeches by activists, a few representatives from civil society organizations and political parties. Thereafter, we are expected to then make our way towards Constitutional Hill. ANC Secretary General Mbalula is expected to give an address later on today. That will be confirmed a bit later on by ANC officials. But since this morning, around 10 o'clock, when all the activists and pro-Palestinian organizations had made their way through to Mary Fitzgerald Square, a big part of what their charge had been was a free Palestine. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. These are some of the chants which were coming from the activists who have gathered here today. The march has gotten underway, and just speaking to some of the organizations which have made their way over here, the Economic Freedom Fighters, the EFF, alongside the African National Congress, are also here. In terms of other organizations, looking at Al-Zafo, the ANC Youth League, the Palestine Solidarity Alliance, and various other civil organizations who have been in support of the Palestinian cause in recent years have made their way to this march as well. And this is part of various activations which we have seen over the last few weeks by pro-Palestinian organizations who have called for the end of the occupation out in Palestine, and obviously for the ceasefire and the permanent ceasefire out in the Gaza Strip, which has been taking place since the 8th of October. This march will be extending well into the afternoon here in the centre of Johannesburg.
Yeah, and of course the matter of a permanent ceasefire is highly important here, especially as you and I speak. What we know is that a preliminary understanding has been reached to extend the truce for a few more days under the same conditions currently being observed. With the massive placards written, maybe we should, ensure that there is a ceasefire, and also just the messaging, the bold messaging, the voice of South Africa. How important is that in the bigger picture in the calls for a ceasefire?
I think in many ways the symbols to what we have seen today speak very closely to what the Parliament and what the government of South Africa has pushed towards with regards to its stance on the Palestine and Israel conflict, as we would have seen last week with the parliamentary vote in favor of the removal of the Israeli embassy from Pretoria, and that will now be placed on President Cyril Ramaphosa's desk for final approval and signing off. So a situation and an event and a march such as this one goes a long way in showing that this may be a large, perhaps a microcosm of what the sentiment is from the rest of the country, and least certain parts of the country. It looks that in terms of events such as this one, there are more events expected to take place heading into the weekend as well. So the pro-Palestinian marches have been something which has been very predominant in South Africa since the October the 7th attacks, and obviously following those retaliation attacks from the Israeli Defense Force. So speaking towards this particular event, it seems that it's going to be continuing, or events like this will be continuing well into the future. And just in terms of safety and security, there is a police escort with regards to this event, and security marshals also carrying out the operations at the front to ensure that health and safety is within compliance within the city of Johannesburg, to ensure that there isn't any violence or any major disruptions to a march such as this one, and to the greater scheme of overall public order.
Very well, Ahmed Kajee. Of course, bringing us in on the picture you're seeing on your screens. What I was trying to read a few minutes ago, some of the big placards there: Free Palestine, maybe we should love somebody, ceasefire now. Civil organizations and political parties out in their numbers in a show of support of Palestine. Ahmed Kajee giving us an update there. We will continue throughout the course of this morning to give you more of what comes out from this march.